All right, quick post about unity consciousness. So I've spoken about this before. So I mapped the cosmos. Okay, I mapped the cosmos. And how did I map the cosmos? I mapped the cosmos by studying the human energy field. How do you map the cosmos? By studying the human energy field, because we are fractals of source. We are fractals of the cosmos. Okay, so unity consciousness, depending on your level of understanding, changes. Okay, if you're in the 3D framework, you're going to think of it like masculine, feminine, the physical form. Okay, merging, integrating, and not know what is what. That would be unity. Okay, you're both male and female. Okay, or a combination. Okay, there could be confusion there. Now, as you elevate higher, you start understanding more about unity. To really understand unity consciousness, you have to have a very high perspective of the cosmos. Okay, so source energy is the absolute. Okay, it is neither good nor bad. It is everything. The most powerful force in the cosmos, because it is everything. Everything is source. Everything was birthed from source. Okay, but because we have duality, we have a neutralizing force within the cosmos. Okay, the duality, the source void energy, neutralizes the power of source. Okay, that's how we can have a physical reality. We have the dark and the light, the feminine and the masculine. Okay, this allows three-dimensional reality, density, material existence to exist. Okay, so we are not all pure source energy. Okay, we could not be. It is way too powerful for humans to embody all the time. Okay, are we all source? Yes. Okay, so this is source. Then source individuated into primal sound. So then there were three individuations that were a little less powerful than pure source. Primal sound is divine feminine, divine masculine, divine child. Then from those primal sound energies, the 7 rays were birthed, or the 12 rays. Okay, I always speak to 7 because it's simpler. 12 is actually just a combination of a higher frequency of those 7 rays. But the rays were birthed. Then we get in, and that's a little lower frequency than pure source. Then we get into creative intelligence, which is a little lower frequency than pure source. And then the heavenly realms, a little lower frequency, until we get to 1D, okay, which is the void space between pure source and source void. Okay, because we have that duality, this negative energy, or pure source void, actually neutralizes source. So we can have life in physical form here without destruction. Okay, so if there was a soul, for instance, that had done so much damage to the cosmos that it was decided that this soul essence would be destroyed, what would happen to it? It would go back to source for absolute destruction. It would be annihilated in source energy. Okay, that's why we have to step it down, that energy, through the densities to be able to embody it in its pure form. Okay, that's the light body work. The light body work allows us to channel pure source energy through our field first, and then slowly integrate into the body. Okay, as we elevate, we're raising our frequency, the energy is moving through the light body into our body, then we can embody more and more source energy. Okay, pure source energy. And as you elevate your frequency, all distortions, all duality have to be come back into center. Okay, they have to be resolved. Okay, otherwise that source energy cannot move through you. You step up the light body because you have the potentiality, which is the 6-pointed. Then you have the 8, then the 12, then the 20, then the 24, then the 36, 48, 64, 144. And as you move up those stepping stones of the light body, after the 144, you have the diamond sun, and then you shift in the rainbow body, and then you have the divine nectar actually is activated within the body, and the body changes to light, okay? But you have to step up. Each of those Merkabas hold more pure source energy, okay? And they're different density ranges. So you're traveling up the density ranges while you're embodying more light, okay? We are all one, okay? At the most fundamental level, everything was birthed from source, and everything is source. But because of that duality, we are not pure source energy, okay? We are fractals of source, and depending on our alignment, our harmonic, our frequency, we are either more source energy or more source void energy, okay? Because of the duality, we are naturally, and the material reality we live in, we are naturally more source void energy, okay? That's why the pull to darkness, to deception, to all of that is really, really strong, okay? So that's the difference. That's why we have to go through this process. We are not just source in unity. That is not, at the highest perspective, the highest level, that's what it is, okay? Every step you take to find unity with other people, with situations, can be beneficial. The problem is when there's distortions in that unity that create an inverted understanding of it, okay? So the most pure path into this is to do the light body work, to raise your frequency, to heal, and to embody pure source more and more and more. As you do that, then you step into unity, okay? As you do that also, you become a more powerful force in the material reality because you have more of that pure source power within your body and your mind. And it's not a power you can use as manipulation, because the path actually gets smaller and smaller and smaller for you to be able to hold and maintain that power. You have to walk that rigid path of integrity and divine alignment at all times. Okay, it's a process. Okay, it isn't just a free for all. So I wanted to clarify that about unity consciousness. You can understand unity consciousness at a conscious level, intellectual level, which is great. Okay, that's better than not understanding it at all. But that's different than embodiment. This means that you are actively working towards holding pure source frequency, and it is elevating through your work. Okay, you're elevating your consciousness, the collective consciousness, the planetary consciousness, the universal consciousness, and the collective consciousness through your presence as a human being on the planet. Okay, hope that was helpful. Sending love.